Hello, I am the Irish guy, and that might just have been the craziest Champions League night of the season so far. Let's see what happened. Right, let's go. Man City 3, Feyenoord 3. Man City? You are embarrassing yourselves. Lads, I'll be honest, I was a silly little worm on Tuesday night because I tuned into the Man City match to see what would happen. I mean, come on, this all-conquering team have not won in a month. It was 5 defeats in a row. I wanted to see how nervous they would look, and they did. Only getting a scruffy penalty before half-time. But when Ilkay Gundogan put them 2-0 up, I switched over to the Sporting Arsenal match. Stupid mistake. Because, lads, 3-3. 3-3. 3-3. Letting Feyenoord score 3 goals in the final 15 minutes to snatch a draw in a game where Pep Guardiola sat on the bench. Honestly, the poor fella looked like he let an angry eagle sit on his head. This fully reminds me of Man City in Pep's first season. Where, yeah, they also lost 4-0 in the Premier League, sure. And also had uncoordinated, sloppy 3-3 draws in Europe against teams who they should have thumped for fun. I mean, lads, when Raheem Sterling is scoring an own goal against Celtic, you know something odd is happening. And similarly, when a £90 million Croatian superstar centre-half is miskicking clearances, swiping his foot at the ball like an uncoordinated chimpanzee, you know something is seriously off. Wow, that poor fella must have been slaughtered in the post-match team talk. If I was him, I'd have been too scared to even look at Pep in the face. I'd be like when you can't look your mum in the eye when she finds out that you've pooed in the fireplace. This is truly unbelievable. Throwing away a 3-goal lead against a Dutch team who've already had their brilliant manager nicked from them in the summer. Really? This is a crisis. Failing to beat Brian Prisk, some former Portsmouth cheese sandwich. This is a complete Etihad nightmare. People are screaming about how Rodri is such a huge miss. But hang on a second. What about Ruben Diaz? Is it any coincidence that the only games he's missed through injury, City have lost them all? City's season has crumbled in the month he's been off sick. He was back on the bench on Tuesday night, but honestly, get him back in the starting 11 for Liverpool away, because without him, it's him, not Rodri. It is him. It's Diaz who's making the difference. Without this Portuguese company, this defensive giant and leader, City really do look like scared teddy bears. Sporting Lisbon 1, Arsenal 5. Oh, those poor Sporting Lisbon fans. Not only did they lose 5-1 to Arsenal, but they also get dead named by me. It's Sporting Club! Lads, how? How can one manager, just one man, be the difference between a 4-1 win over Man City and a 5-1 loss at home to Arsenal? Just 2 weeks apart? I refuse to believe that Ruben Amorim is just some special wizard. And once you take him away, oh, suddenly the Sporting players now look like drunk grasshoppers. I mean, lads, a win over the Gunners would have taken Sporting up to 2nd in the Champions League. Well, that now looks like another joke, because they were absolutely spoon-fed L's, as if this was Deji's diet. Arsenal absolutely walloped them, running riot with 5 goals, with Gabriel almost starting a Premier League rivalry early by mocking Victor Gyökeres' celebration. Gabriel, there's really no need. You're literally bullying a Brighton flop. This is a former Coventry striker. Why? Why the celebration? This is like when PSG mocked Haaland's celebration 5 years ago. I mean, fair enough, they were picking on him because they knew he was going to be a world-class beast for a while. Well, Gyökeres, why are you mocking him? What did he ever do to Arsenal? This is like when Neil Maupay was mocking James Maddison's darts. But that man is an actual cartoon supervillain. He is a weird soul who just wants to watch the world burn. Honestly, he's probably going to pass on the Marseille Christmas party to instead stay at home burning ants with a magnifying glass. It's like if I go on camera to slag off Lee Gunner. Why? He ain't got nothing to do with me. But yeah, brilliant Arsenal win, but Amorim, I hope he watched that game and felt guilty. Because, oh boy, this is probably like catching a glimpse of your ex-wife when she's now sleeping under a bridge and begging bus drivers for a kiss, like James Aniston after Brad Pitt. Lads, Gabriel has beef with a different blonde Scandinavian striker. Just because Haaland bounced the ball off your head. What, are you now just in the business of bullying anyone who looks like him? Anyone who looks like if Draco Malfoy spent a year in the gym? Just, oh boy. Barcelona 3, Brest 0. I still can't get over how this French minnow even exist in the Champions League. It looks strange. It feels odd. Come on, this is a tiny French village who were recently in League 2, and now they're playing Barcelona at the Nou Camp. Trust me, lads, it would look less strange to see breasts on my granddad than in the Champions League. Well, look, Barca go marching on, thumping in more goals, and Robert Lewandowski take a bow. For somebody who was one Icelandic ash cloud away from joining Blackburn Rovers in 2010, to have now scored his 100th and 101st goals in this competition. Wow. I mean, lads, the 100 goal Premier League club is not exactly an exclusive party. I mean, the security guards will let any scruffy dingbats in. Some people could probably sneak in using their dad's ID. I mean, come on, when Cristiano Ronaldo finally entered that party 2 years ago, he would have looked around to see Emil Heskey, Peter Crouch, and Darren Bent. I mean, I wouldn't be totally shocked if Chris Wood sneaks into that club before he's done, but the 100-goal Champions League club is so much more exclusive. It's not even a room, it's just a VIP couch for the football aliens Ronaldo and Messi. So Lewandowski actually managed to squeak his way through that door to the most exclusive party in the world. What glorious company to be in. For a guy who, yeah, almost joined Blackburn. What a weird world that would have been. Inter Milan 1, RB Leipzig 0. Inter Milan have still not conceded a goal in the Champions League. That is astonishing. This was their third 1-0 win in a row in this competition. This was a boring, ugly match, but who cares? They went top of the pile on Tuesday night. 5 clean sheets in a row. This was like Chelsea 2005 sort of stats. I am in awe of Simon Inzaghi's defense. They've got 3 games left, right? Bayern Leverkusen, Sparta Prague, and Monaco. They could do it. They could realistically go an entire Champions League group phase without conceding a goal. Just an absolute blitz of consecutive European clean sheets between September and January. I mean, lads, what an absolute late career rebirth for Swiss goalie Jan Sommer. I mean, after he spent 9 years in frustrating German mid-table mediocrity at Borussia Mönchengladbach, he never dreamed of nights like this. Christ above, 2 years ago, he was a 33-year-old goalie being coached by someone who just got sacked at Norwich. The fact he has since briefly joined Bayern Munich to win the Bundesliga, and now Inter Milan where he's already won Serie A, and has now kept 5 Champions League clean sheets in a row. This reminds me of when Edmund van der Sar had probably made peace with life in the boring comfort zone at Fulham, kissing goodbye to ever winning anything ever again, and then Manchester United rescued him at the age of 34, and he went on to win 4 Premier Leagues and play in 3 Champions League finals, winning 1. Both Van der Sar and Sommer must have felt like depressed, middle-aged housewives, who then randomly matched with The Rock on Tinder. What? I mean, the last player who scored against Inter Milan in the Champions League now plays for Corinthians in Brazil. Anyone know who it is? Let me know in the comments. Celtic 1, Club Brugge 1. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Club Brugge are a poison for oafish English centre-backs. They must be. Because whenever this Belgian side take to the Champions League turf, they are always given a goal by a dopey English centre-back for literally doing nothing. Bruges' last 2 goals have been the 2 biggest calamities in Champions League history. I mean, 2 weeks ago, they scored the winning goal against Aston Villa because Tyrone Mings literally picked up the ball, scooping it up as if it was a bag of doggy poo that his poodle had done on the neighbour's lawn. And now, Cameron Carter-Vickers literally does a back pass into the corner of his own net. Bruges have been given 2 goals in the Champions League by defenders who both used to play for Ipswich and Bournemouth. Okay, yeah, I know, Carter-Vickers, I know he plays for USA. Okay, I know, okay, not English, but you got my point. People say his mistake is unlucky, but no. You are taught as a child that if you're passing back to the goalkeeper, play it at a diagonal angle, so if the worst case scenario happens, if it hits a divot in the ground or the goalie gets possessed by the devil, then the ball still trickles wide. Carter-Vickers is not even looking at Kasper Schmeichel. He is assuming he's there, and we all know what happens if you assume. Look, Daisa Maeda slams home a truly special equalizer. That was the sort of Champions League moment that Shinsuke Nakamura would have served up at Celtic Park 20 years ago. So it is fitting that the sparkling wonder goal was recreated by someone also from Japan. Honestly, lads, how many Celtic fans do you think there are in Japan? Go on, close your laptop lid now, fly to Tokyo, and if you don't spot someone wearing a hoops top within the first 40 minutes of getting off the plane, then I'll let you cut my hair. Slovan Bratislava 2, AC Milan 3. Fair play, Slovan Bratislava. I know this sounds like patronizing goo when this Slovak team are in their debut Champions League campaign and they're getting slaughtered every week. But lads, this is a team who have lost so many playoffs to get into this competition. Since 2009 alone, they've been knocked out of the Champions League playoffs by Olympiacos, Apoel Nicosia, Ludogorets Razgrad, Bani Borisov, Sujeska Nikšić. The last one sounds like a brand of toothpaste for rabbits. I mean, a year ago, they were settling for a draw against a side from Luxembourg. Luxembourg? Do they even play football in Luxembourg? Or does everyone leave school at 14 to go and set up squirrel farms by the coast? I'm genuinely asking, does anyone know? So the fact they've actually managed to make it to the Champions League party, sure, 5 defeats in a row is poor, but come on. To net 2 goals against the great AC Milan, including an absolute screamer into the top bins of Mike Moynan's net. Fair play. Sparta Prague 0, Atletico Madrid 6. Oh, Sparta Prague, their Champions League season is falling apart. It began so perfectly when this Czech underdog bullied Red Bull Salzburg 3-0 at home, and then they travelled to Stuttgart and nicked a point. But now 3 defeats in a row and getting smashed 6-0 by Atletico at home. Come on, this is your home stadium, right? This is Sparta. That's not just a catchphrase for those juiced up 6-packs. No, this is your home fortress and sort of crumble like this. No, your next 3 matches are against Feyenoord, Inter Milan and Bayer Leverkusen. You have no chance of qualifying now. If they do, if they somehow tumble their way into the next round, then I will kiss a sheep. Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 0. Leave Kylian Mbappe alone. I am sorry. I know we should be discussing how marvellous Liverpool were to beat Real Madrid for the first time in 15 years. But it seems like people are reveling in Mbappe's misery at Madrid. Yeah, it's funny. When he's scoring a hat-trick in a World Cup final, then everyone is only too happy to praise the guy and celebrate what a player he is, the next Pele. But the minute he starts struggling in an imbalanced Real side, everyone is laughing at him. Fully laughing. He's being memed on the internet because he missed a penalty, was tackled by Conor Bradley, and even fell on his head. Do people want him to fail? What joy is there in that? Do you know how much of a shame it was that Eden Hazard never sparkled at the Bernabeu? I would have loved to have seen Hazard realize his full potential in a Real Madrid shirt. Him being a chubby fat potato, that did nothing for me. I think this guy is the best player in the world. And yet his own teammates don't even think he's the best at the club, with everyone abandoning the plane to the Ballon d'Or ceremony because Vinny Jr. didn't win the prize. I want to see great players doing great things at great clubs. Having said that, oh wow, Caoimhin Kelleher. I'll be honest, last month, I was angry with him for his stupid mistake to let Greece score an easy goal against Ireland. And I said he was overrated. I am flip-flopping on that. He is class. And lads, can we just appreciate that right now? The two young Irish goalies, Bazunu and Kelleher, have actually saved penalties from Ronaldo and Mbappe. This is tasty. And lads, Kelleher wanted first-team football and was denied a move to Nottingham Forest in the summer. But just make him Liverpool #1. Let him fight it out with Georgi Mavrodishvili next season. And just let Alisson Becker move on. Actually, no. No. I'm being a reactionary toad. Nah, the Brazilian is only 32. That is nothing in goalie terms. But still, Kelleher deserves a better team than Forest. A European team. I actually think in January, Newcastle United should go Irish, snap up Evan Ferguson on loan, whilst kicking Callum Wilson to the curb, and yeah, chuck in a £30 million bid for Kelleher, whose contract runs out in 18 months. Kelleher will be a class Newcastle United goalkeeper. As the best player in the world, literally just had his penalty saved by someone called Caoimhin. Even now, Kylian is probably still confused by the M. Young boys 1, Atalanta 6. Atalanta are beasts. When is some serious respect start going to be getting put on their manager Gianpiero Gasparini's name? This is someone who 10 years ago was a joke. A sack magnet in his 50s, getting the Inter Milan chop after just 5 matches. I mean, back in 2011, when that club just could not cope with life after Jose Mourinho, then yeah, they went through Rafa Benitez, Leonardo, Gianpiero Gasparini, Claudio Ranieri, Andrea Stormaconi, Walter Mazzarri, Roberto Mancini, Frank de Boer, Stefan Pioli, and Luciano Spalletti in a 9-year time frame before they finally found an adequate replacement for Jose and Antonio Conte. Yeah, Gasparini was given the De Boer treatment in Italy. 5 matches and out. Which is ironic because Inter would soon be hiring that Dutch potato themselves. Gasparini was a Serie A joke, but he's come into Atalanta in 2016, rescued them from relegation battles and turned them back into a European team. He's won the Europa League. They're now 2nd in Serie A, 2nd in... Oh, honestly lads, here they are absolutely smashing young boy 6. What a job he's done. Bayern Munich 1, PSG 0. PSG are 26th in the Champions League. 26th. 13 years ago, the club's Qatari owners came into France with the one goal of making them the top 1 team in Europe. But no, now they're losing on Champions League nights against a former Burnley boss. 1-0, Kim Min-jae with the winner. In what was a really sloppy, boring match, but PSG, this is supposed to be their redemption arc. Surely that should come with a happy ending. Because they've chosen to move away from the Galacticos to try and focus on homegrown potential. So this is a bit like in the rom-com film where the high school prom queen realizes she should stop being horrible to everyone and that there's more important things in life than looks. It's what matters on the inside, right? Or some equally sickly, gooey Disney motto. Yeah, that's the epiphany PSG have had this summer, and yet, okay, they're still eating league unsides for tea, but that is now 1 point from their 4 Champions League matches. They're in serious risk of having no European football after January. Just awful. Bologna 1, Lille 2. This is why you shouldn't let 5th place teams squirm their way into the Champions League, because Bologna, they don't belong here. This is truly embarrassing to be 33rd in the Champions League on 1 pathetic point and just 1 goal scored. They scored the least amount of goals in the Champions League this season. This is the club's first ever Champions League season, their first European season since they lost the UEFA Intertoto Cup to Fulham in 2002. There would have been so much excitement amongst the fans for this season, but in reality, they've only been able to cheer once. Last night when John Lukumi equalised, but that was short-lived because 3 minutes later, Lille scored the winner. So Bologna fans had just 3 minutes of being happy. That's barely long enough to sing a Christmas song. Horrific. Dynamo Zagreb 0, Borussia Dortmund 3. Jamie Bino Gittins needs to get in the England squad. The fact he's not even in the conversation for England caps is stupid. If there's one thing I know about Borussia Dortmund, it's that they like to clone their stars. I mean, come on, I was thinking the other day, who is better? Peak Robert Lewandowski or peak Erling Haaland? Is it any coincidence that Dortmund signed them both for walnuts before they were famous? Dortmund have a type of player who they like, and they like to replace their sole stars with very similar players. I mean, there's no bigger proof of that than the fact they're literally trying to sign Bellingham's little bro. And so yes, Jamie Bino Giddens, a fresh, exciting English winger robbed from the Man City Academy, he is a repeat of Jadon Sancho. And here the 20-year-old winger was, smashing in his 7th goal of the season. And he's 4th in the Champions League. Thomas Tuchel, I hope you're keeping tabs on your former team, because honestly, he has to be in the England squad. Aston Villa 0, Juventus 0. Yawn. Lads, Aston Villa versus Juventus is a huge mouth-watering clash. But I'm sorry, lads, it was a boring, dull, 0-0 match. Although, you did have a last-minute winner unfairly ruled out because Diego Carlos was adjudged to have fouled the goalie. He slightly leaned into him. You could do that same thing to a granny on the bus. Lean into her with the same force, and she's still not hitting the floor. But yeah, do you know who scored the winning goal? Yeah, Morgan Rogers. Oh, you just know. You just know that's going to spur on the next Premier League predictions guest to pick it to score this weekend. Oh, can't wait for that. PSV 3, Shakhtar 2. Wow, one of the most stunning comebacks in Champions League history. Shakhtar are 2-0 up against PSV Eindhoven after just 86 minutes. Bear in mind, not a single team in Champions League history is ever lost after being 2-0 up after 86 minutes. But then USA international playmaker Malik Tillman explodes with 2, including an incredible equalizer in the 90th minute from outside the box before Ricardo Pepi pops up to the poke home a 95th minute winner. Honestly, lads, PSV are a surprise package this season. This is like when Borussia Dortmund beat Malaga in that crazy match in 2013. Bayer Leverkusen 5, Red Bull Salzburg 0. Pep Linders, you're not a manager, are you? Red Star 5, Stuttgart 1. Oh, Stuttgart, just go home. Monaco 2, Benfica 3. Crazy comeback for Benfica, but for Monaco, this was heartbreaking because you were 2-1 up despite having a man sent off, and to crumble in the final 10 minutes and lose, no, because if you'd held on to win, you'd not only be second in Ligue 1, but second in the Champions League too, which is just a frightening thought. Sturm Graz 1, Girona 0. I didn't watch the match, but Man City's feeder club are embarrassing the company. Anyway, that's the video. Let me know, what do you think? What did you make of the Champions League game week? Let me know, it was crazy, wasn't it? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, add, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.